Hi, and welcome back to another Jurassic video. And today we are going to talk about the era of Jurassic Park video games. Actually, we're going to call this the post-JP3 pre-Jurassic World era of video games. So let's get started. Our first one here is rather strange. Technically, it is a video game, but you know, it's a DVD game. It's called Jurassic Park Explorer DVD game. Now, what's interesting about this one is that, well, the first fact is that it's a DVD game. There are plenty of those out. I remember in the mid to late 2000s, DVD games were like the most popular thing. They were games you could play using your DVD remote, but they're not a new concept. Games being played on something that wasn't a video game console actually dates back to the days of VHS tapes, and if you want to get technical, Laserdisc. But the thing with the VHS tapes is that they were already pre-recorded, so it didn't matter what you did. But this was a DVD game, and technically it is considered a video game. Also interesting enough, these games, according to my research, came in several different boxes, and I've actually played one before. The one I played was in a box similar to this, and I ended up getting it from Walmart several years ago. But what the game is, pretty much, is it combines the board game aesthetic, if you want to say, combined with a virtual world inside of the DVD game itself, which you play along with the board game. And well, those were pretty cool at the time, pretty cool concept. They never really did take off as well. I mean, you had the DVD games like, there was a Trivial Pursuit. There were all kinds of Trivial Pursuits with the DVDs. And then there was Seen It, which was another one with the DVDs. And of course, my personal favorite, there was a Pokemon one around 2007, I believe. But I have played this one, and it's not bad. It's more of a board game type thing, but, that depends on what you want to call it. But we're going to call it a video game since it's on a DVD and you can play it, on an electronic. If you've watched our past Jurassic Park gaming videos, we use a scale called dinosaur eggs, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. So, on a scale of 1 to 10 dinosaur eggs, I give this one a 6. It's not bad. It really shouldn't have existed. The board game itself should have been in the game. That's my only complaint. It should have been completely in the game and it would have been fine. Actually, this game would have been better as a PC game if you just, similar to Danger Zone, if you've ever played that Jurassic Park game. But, it is what it is. Our next one is a rather strange one. It was made by Gameloft in 2010, and it claims to be called Jurassic Park 4. But in actuality, it's just called Jurassic Park or Gameloft's, I can't say that properly, Gameloft's Jurassic Park. There we go, we said it. Basically, you go back to Isla Nublar as either Alan Grant or Ian Malcolm, and you basically fight soldiers, engine soldiers, I assume, and you shoot dinosaurs and eggs and whatnot. And yeah, I have actually played this, and oh boy, let's just tell you in the dinosaur eggs, there's not much more I can say about this. On a scale of 1 to 10 dinosaur eggs, this one gets a 1. This is a big stinker, probably the worst Jurassic Park game ever made, and it should not be talked about any further. That's just simply it. Moving on. Next up, Jurassic Park the Game by Telltale Games, released for physical release on Xbox 360 and digital release on PS3 as well as on PC. Now, this game, it's like a pick your own adventure game, except, you're not really picking your adventure. It's pretty straightforward, but you have to respond to certain things. It's an age-old thing that goes back it goes back as far as Dragon's Lair, which, if you've ever played that, it's okay, I guess. Of course, most Telltale games are like that if you've ever played them, but, basically, it is a how do I say this? A sequel/interquel to the first Jurassic Park movie. It takes place during and somewhat after the events of the first movie. And basically, I'm not going to give a lot of details away if you haven't played this. But you play as Jerry Harding, and your daughter is with you, and you basically have to escape the island, and there's this mysterious woman who is trying to get the embryos that Nedry didn't deliver, and, well, it's pretty awesome, to be honest. This game is also backwards compatible on the Xbox One, if you haven't already read about that. You can actually, if you have a physical copy, just pop it in, let it download, and you're all set to go. And honestly, it looks really good on the Xbox One. It looks better than it did on the 360, which is the way it should be. But this is actually a really good game, and the story in it is actually really good. It also provides some backstory. Now, as to whether it's canon or not, that is still up in the air. There's not really a whole lot of information about it, but it's probably, you would consider it loose canon to the series, but of course with Jurassic World and all that, it's up in the air, but or was up in the air, but it's somewhat fact. But the main thing that's different here is Jerry Harding. You see him here in the middle of the picture. He actually does appear as a character in the actual first Jurassic Park movie, but he looks like this. But it's possible there's two Jerry Hardings in Jurassic Park working. Of course, it is confirmed that this Jerry Harding that you see here is confirmed to be the father of Sarah Harding from the Lost World Jurassic Park. So that's definitely canon. So on a scale of 1 to 10 dinosaur eggs, this one gets a perfect 10. This one is a really great game, really awesome, and if you're a Jurassic Park fan, this one is an essential to play. Next up is Jurassic Park Builder, and this is when the Jurassic Park games really start getting more into the mobile era. Of course, the Gameloft one was mobile, but this one, Jurassic Park Builder was released in 2012, and basically it's a park sim. So basically you raise dinosaurs, you get your park all set up and whatnot, and of course you feed them and all that and make money and do missions, and that's pretty much the game. It's just your typical mobile game, more or less, and there's not much more to it than that. There was also a later feature which carried over to Jurassic World Builder, which we'll talk about in the next episode of this Jurassic Park series. But it's your typical park sim mobile game, and they tried to get inspiration, I guess, from the Game Boy game that we discussed in the past episode, the Game Boy Advance game, and that's pretty much all it is your typical mobile game. And I've played it, and I was into it for about 6 months back in 2013, and I lost interest in it, to be honest. So, on a scale of 1 to 10 dinosaur eggs, I give this one a 5. It's not that good, to be honest, but if you want to invest a few hours, or you're sitting in the doctor's office and you need something to do for like 20 minutes, this would definitely be worth giving a try. Otherwise, it's not really worth your time. And we finish off with an arcade game, Jurassic Park Arcade by Raw Frills. Released in March 2015, just a few months before Jurassic World, Jurassic Park Arcade is basically your standard light gun game. And you can tell it took a lot of inspiration from past Jurassic Park arcade games. Definitely, one of those things they're like, hey, we haven't made one of these since 2001. Let's get the license for it and make it. And that's exactly what they set out and did. I played one of these at an arcade while I was on vacation one year, about 2 or 3 years ago. And it wasn't bad, but honestly, I prefer the old school Sega versions over this. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not bad. The graphics are great. And it's just one of those games that it looks real cool and everything, but it just doesn't feel like a true Jurassic Park game to me. It's one of those games, it's like you run around, you shoot some dinosaurs, and it looks cool, and that's it. It's like the original games. I mean, you basically did those in the original games, but they had a charm to them, while this basically feels like a cheap imitation. So, on a scale of 1 to 10 dinosaur eggs, I give this one a 6. It's not bad. It's worth giving a try once or twice, but don't get too obsessed with it. If you want a true light gun game, I recommend instead of playing this one, you play the Lost World Jurassic Park light gun game, or even the original Jurassic Park Sega arcade game, released in '94. But of course, I am going to be honest, it does seem a little bit better than the JP3 game, but that's up for debate. I'd say it's about on the same level, but that's up to you to decide. So that was our episode. Next time, a couple episodes from now or whenever, we're going to look at the Jurassic World video games. And we're going to discuss VAM. There's not a lot of them, so it might be a short episode, so I'll probably have some filler talk in between, so just like this one, there wasn't a lot of them. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell if you want notifications, and of course, if you haven't watched all of our previous episodes, you can go to my channel and find Starship Gaming, the watch list or whatever it's called, and if you haven't seen any of the episodes before this, go back and watch every single episode, or if you just want to watch the Jurassic Park episodes, just go through there and pick out the previous 3 episodes and check those out. So until next time, I'll see ya.